How's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and I'm here with a series that I haven't done in a series that I haven't talked about. Well, I have talked about it, but not in like the actual series. And if you've been a frequent viewer of the channel, you probably know like I've been talking about this one series that I just dropped out of nowhere a long time ago, and that I was gonna pick it back up soon. And this is it. And that series itself is the One Piece review series. And ladies and gentlemen, today I am here with the Impel Down review part for the series. And, things might be a little different. I'm not just going to be talking about the arc itself, like, I'm not going to be going through the story beats of it, because then the video just ends up being 60 minutes every time. But I will talk about it. There will be spoilers. That's something that I do want to make clear. Like, there will be spoilers in this, so if you want to watch One Piece at some point, then go ahead. By all means, like, click off the video. I understand. And if you don't care about spoilers, then hey, this is gonna be your first impression of One Piece if you've never seen it before, or if you have, it'll give you a clearer look on one of the better, if not one of the best arcs pre-time skip, let alone like a really good arc from the show entirely. But it's been a while, honestly. It's no different from the videos that I do now, because these videos were I guess the blueprint for the other videos that I do now. So I'm not out of my element doing it again. But it feels nice, it feels nice talking about One Piece, finally being able to move on and talk about what I want to talk about in the show, like my favorite arcs. And man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. But regardless, Impel Down, right? Impel Down is like a 30 30 episode arc in the show, and it continues right off of Amazon Lily. There's no week between sailing. There's no climax to the last arc. It continues directly after Amazon Lily, just like how Salva the Archipelago did that, and Thriller Bark kinda did follow up with Salva the Archipelago. But Impel Down, a prison in One Piece. It's like, consider Alcatraz with like six sub levels underground, and Impel Down is in, what's it called? Like the triangle of military powers, in terms of like, there's Impel Down, there's Enies Lobby, which I've covered before in the channel, its own arc, and there's Marineford, which is the next arc. You can probably see the trend here. But Impel Down is the prison, Marineford is the military fortress, and Enies Lobby is like the execution site, like judge, jury, and executioner, basically, from what's going on. But what is it? Yeah, Impel Down. Luffy is coming to Impel Down to save his brother Ace, and he has to go all the way down to the bottom to get Ace, because he's one of Whitebeard's like commanders. So he's gonna be at the very bottom, being like one of the highest level targets in Impel Down. And along the way, we meet uh, some old faces from older arcs, which, first time watching this, like when I was like 14, 13, around there, it was so fire seeing these old faces, seeing Buggy the clown again. I already knew, like, yo, this dude is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, his devil fruit is kind of cracked. But seeing him again, and seeing him with the ponytail is so drip, like sauce beyond belief. This is what I've been telling him, Tucker. He cannot just be goated with sauce. Like, it's more than that. Buggy with the ponytail is my favorite version, and he's so saucy with that. Then you have Mister Three, the wax guy, the candle guy. He's cool because he gets a lot more characterization in this arc than in what's it called, Alabasta. Just like how Buggy gets more characterization from Romance Dawn, even though Buggy already was kind of goaded. But yeah, Mister Three gets a lot more characterization. Bond Clay showed up again, Mister Two. And man, let me tell you, Bon Clay is fire. Like, I'll talk about him more around the end, but Bon Clay is fire. Just let that be known. Then you see more people like Mr. One, aka Das Bones, aka Daz. He's a knife guy with a yeah. I don't know what his double fruit is. I forgot. I think it's a Paramecia. Yeah, Paramecia type. But or is he a Logia type? I can't even tell. I don't remember. But yeah. Then you got Crocodile showing up again, and one of the most iconic lines from the show. He says it right here, right? Two people say some of the most iconic lines. You really got Crocodile showing up after being let out, and he really says Hisashi Buridana. And then the episode just ends, bro. Oh my gosh. Crocodile saying that really just made my day so much because I found that voice clip like a while ago, like on Instagram and through a TikTok video, and I never knew who says it, but I knew it was or it was One Piece because Mugiwara is just excuse me, Mugiwara is just Straw Hat in Japanese. So I knew it was this, but I didn't know it was Crocodile that said. He really said Hisashi Buridana. Ah man, so fire. But then you got everybody, the Baroque Works guys. You got Buggy. You got what's this dude's name? No, yeah, that's basically it. And then you got Jinbei making a first time appearance, a Fishman, who will have a larger role to play later on, and I can't wait to talk about him, or I can't wait to talk about him later on. But Jinbei, fire. Just know he's a dope Fishman, like way cooler than Arlong. But then you have Ace all the way at the bottom, and Luffy has to get there, like I said. So we go through these a bunch of floors going down from the first floor all the way to the fifth floor, and then we find out that there's a sixth floor. And the way that Luffy got brought in here was because of Boa Hancock. She snuck him in, and their relationship slash friendship with the way Luffy sees it is so cute. It's hilarious. Luffy being an indifferent man, just chilling, eating food, enjoying company, while Hancock is just swooning over him completely. She is in love with him, bro. It's so cute. I that's definitely one thing that I loved seeing again when I was rewatching these arcs. Like so good. But yeah, Luffy goes down from the first floor to the third floor. The first floor being normal floor, second floor being a desert floor, third floor being the inferno floor, like a quote unquote hell floor. And this is where things get crazy, right? Because of the fact that Magellan shows up, right? And I know I said I wasn't gonna cover the arcs like extensively, but I'm just skimming through. I'm just skimming through it right now, just to get to the main point that I need to get to. It's super short. Magellan shows up. Magellan is one of the two wardens in Impel Down. Magellan is one of the coolest characters in pre-time skip One Piece. He is a menace. He is a threat. Like actually imposing crazy, like probably one of the strongest people we've seen in the show up till now because of his power being poison. Like Magellan is as imposing and as threatening as he was the first time I saw him. And his fight with Luffy is so cool. So cool. I have two thumbnails for these videos and you'll see which one it is when you see this video. But one of them is this Magellan fight. The other one I'll get to later. But yeah, long story short, Luffy loses, no surprise. Poison when you don't have redacted. I won't mention that yet until it's mentioned in the story. But if you don't have that and you fight poison, I mean, yeah, you're gonna lose. There's nothing you can really do about that. But he lost. Bon Clay saves Luffy's life by he originally ran away, but he came back. He went to level 4 because that's where Luffy was taken. He was viewed as a big enough for that down there, and so he was brought down there. Bon Clay goes to save him. Buggy and Mr. 3 try to run away, but he convinces both of them to come with him to help save Luffy. So they go, and then Mr. 2 or excuse me, Mr. 3 and Buggy get chased by wolves. Bon Clay goes to save Luffy even after being mutilated and scarred in the freezing tundra that is level 4, which is like the freezing, I forgot what it's called. There's something like in the dawn, I think it was like the cold one. I don't remember, but yeah. Then they find, and I'm gonna say full honest to god honesty, like this is the actual name. I'm not joking. The excuse me, the Queen of the Queers. This was made in 2010, 2009, and the manga 2008. So I wasn't surprised by this at all because the LGBTQ community has come a long way compared to 2010, where people did not know much about it. But if this happened now, yo, people on Twitter would go crazy. Oh my gosh, like I'm surprised that people haven't gone crazy over the fact that the Queen of the Queers is an actual name in the show. But regardless, I mean, I like the character regardless, or I like the character period, so I don't really care. But it's bad. Like it has not aged well at all. That title, if they ever like reanimate Impel Down, they should definitely change the title because the Queen of the Queers is not a good name for somebody like that. But at the same time, I'll explain it later. I'll explain it later. But regardless, they meet Ivankov, the Queen of the Queers, and he helps Luffy after he got poisoned by Magellan, and Luffy has a 2% chance of surviving. He survives. No surprise there. And it was so fire. Like I want to get to the plot affected me, so I'm not gonna talk about him here. I'm just summarizing. But man, TL. But anyways, yeah. So after that, Bon Clay, Ivankov, Luffy, and everybody are talking, and Luffy drops the bomb that he's the Dragon's son because Ivankov mentioned that he's a part of the Revolution Army. And Ivankov's immediately like, yeah, we're gonna go save your brother. We're gonna go save your brother, no doubt about it. And he thinks that Ace is Dragon's son as well, so that's why he does it. And they go to the sixth floor because Ivankov's place is in between floor 5 and 6 because they made their own little hidey hole in there in the prison. And now they all come out and they go launch a giant prison escape to free Ace and Jinbei since he's with them. They get down there. They Ace is already being transported since Luffy was KO'd for a long time after the Magellan fight, like a good 12 to 14 hours of just straight Ami meal time. He literally was just slumped, like, and they get there. Jinbei's down there, and he's like, "Bro, let me help you." Ace is one of my closest friends, bro. I'll help y'all right now. On my mom, bro, like Soundwave, turn it up, bro. And then Luffy's like, all right, bet I'll do it. And then Crocodile's like, Isashi Buridana. And Luffy's like, nigga, no. And Ivankov's like, nigga, yes. They set Crocodile free. Now he's with them. They set Das Bones free as well. So now Mr. One is there. And now you got most of Baroque works besides Robin and everybody else. You have Jinbei, you have Luffy, you have Ivankov, you have Buggy, you have mad people, bro. And then we see some more lore on Impel Down, with Shiryu being one of the second warden, but he was arrested for his crimes against the prisoners. And Magellan's like, the prisoners deserve justice. Like they deserve to be punished, but not killed. They need to they what is it? They need to pay for their crimes. I guess is the way what I'm trying to say. And Shiryu was arrested for it. Magellan exercised his power under the law, and Shiryu was set free by Magellan to help stop the escape. I'll come back to this later. And then next thing you know, we see something from outside of Impel Down. Blackbeard shows up in Impel Down, and Blackbeard is the guy all the way back in Jaya Skypia, the video I did like a couple months ago. And he was the guy that was like, people's dreams never die because if people don't have dreams, then they're not living or whatever. And we find out that, well, we already knew, but Luffy finds out that Ace was captured by Blackbeard, and that's why he's a warlord now. And Luffy and Blackbeard are going at it. He's boxing him, and Jinbei's like, "Dog, stop. We need to go save your brother." And then Luffy's just like, "All right." And he walks past Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is just with the most sinister smile, just, bro, man is a menace. He has everybody with him. He has Jesus Burgess. He has the sniper guy with him. He has a guy with a horse on him. Some weird people, and they go down to the bottom floor, or they try to get to the bottom floor, but Magellan is trying to chase after them, after Luffy, and they meet. Blackbeard and Magellan meet. Magellan bodies all six of them, and he leaves. And then Shiryu, since he was supposed to deal with the top floor while Magellan was supposed to deal with the bottom floor, he met up with Blackbeard again. Since they met at the entrance and they met now, he saves Blackbeard by giving him the antidote to Magellan's poison. And he's like, you guys are really stupid thinking that all because you guys helped me and gave me a profitable position that I would actually help. Blackbeard's like, "But you did." And he's like, "Yep, you're right. I guess I'm a part of the crew then, huh?" He's like, "Yep, welcome aboard, Captain," or "Welcome aboard, Shiryu." And now Shiryu of the Rain is a part of the Blackbeard crew. Meanwhile, with Luffy's side, they're all just trying to get to the first floor, get out of Impel Down, make it to Marineford, since that's where Ace is being escorted to be executed. And Ivankov goes to stall Magellan, he gets bodied. Inazuma goes to stall Magellan, he gets bodied. And then now it's Luffy and Mr. 3 stalling for everybody else till they can make it to the dock, secure a ship, and bring it back so we can all leave. And they do that. Luffy versus Magellan happens again. And it's a sick fight. I love it so much, bro. It's amazing. But yeah, they they stall long enough, and Magellan's coming up. He's going, and everybody's at the end of the dock because Magellan did a mega mind play by saying, "Yo, get all of the Navy ships out of here. Do not let a single pirate, not let a single prisoner on the ships. Get all of the Navy ships out of here and just go to Ace's execution." And they're all leaving. But Jinbei, Crocodile, and Buggy go to take or to commandeer a ship. They do. They bring one back, but they're not gonna be able to get there in time because Magellan's almost at their throats. So Jinbei's like, "All of y'all jump into the sea right now. Even if you have a devil fruit, jump in right now." And they all do. They trust Jinbei. So Ivankov, Inazuma, excuse me, and everybody, Luffy, uh, they all go, and they land on sharks because Jinbei's a fishman, so he has some ability to communicate with the sea. Like he's the closest communicator to fish life and wildlife in the sea than humans are to anything else. Like so, he does that. He gets sharks to help everybody, and he brings them to the ship. And now they have to escape Impel Down. The gates of justice are closing, or the gates of justice are closed because Impel Down is is inside of the gates of justice, which is just giant gates. Like you can't really pass through them without having authority to pass through them. And since they're closed, we can't really do anything. They're just speeding towards the gates, and something mega mind happens. Somebody opens the gates, and it's the one person I didn't mention that jumped onto the ship. It was Bon Clay. Bon Clay opened the gates of justice for everybody because his devil fruit allows him to. He can, any person that he's touched, he can use their face and body type and impersonate them. And he used Magellan's face, and he impersonated one of his subordinates, and he touched Magellan's face, and he used that to open the gates. And now he's in the command room with Magellan about to box. And Luffy doesn't find this out until he realizes Bon Clay isn't here. Bon-chan, for lack of better words. See, that's what he calls him. And man, oh my goodness, I'll talk about this later again, but whatever. Uh, they're able to escape, and they have some solemn last words for Bon Clay. and he goes out the same way that he did in Alabasta, guns blazing, fighting the Navy, fighting the military, fighting Magellan. And that's the last that we see of Bon Clay for the rest of Impel Down. They all escape. Luffy and everybody is crying. Everybody is crying, bro. Bon Clay is gone. He had to sacrifice himself to let everybody else go, so Luffy could save his brother. And man, I'll talk about the scene later when I'm giving my opinions on it. But yeah, that's basically the end of Impel Down for right now. There's only like a couple episodes left where Luffy and all them are going on a Navy ship to Marineford. They're just sailing right now, and now we're getting glimpses at what the rest of the crew is doing, from Nami, Frankie, Robin, Sanji, Zoro, Chopper, Brook, Usopp, all of them. We get to see glimpses at what they're doing on their respective islands, what's going on. And besides that, after these episodes, it's gonna be Marineford anyway. So I just decided, like, they're already out of Impel Down. I might as well start now, and I'll talk about the episodes what everybody's doing on the islands in Marineford, because it's gonna be a long episode anyway. So I might as well. But man, Impel Down. First impressions, since I watched like an episode or two today, a little bit after, or not first impressions. Uh, Thoughts after watching it again. This arc is amazing. There is no other way to describe it. This arc is just so good. Like, I was my least favorite parts. I'll get them out of the way first. Or excuse me, floor 2 and floor 3. I didn't like floor 2 much, like, at all actually. Oh, no, scratch that. I didn't like floor 1 and floor 2. I liked floor 3 a lot. I really liked floor 3 because that's the whole Magellan fight. But floor 1 and floor 2 were just, floor 1 was mediocre and floor 2 was just okay to me. I didn't think nothing of it. Floor 1, though, it could be attributed, like, I don't like it either because of the fact that that was around the time where I started dropping the show a little bit, and then the end of floor number 2 into floor number 3, right before the Magellan fight, was where I dropped the show for a little bit to take a break because I was what is it? I was drained. I was burnt out. So I probably don't like it because of that. But even then, I can't imagine myself liking the first two floors that much more compared to the rest of the floors. But floor number 2, I will say, is pretty funny because they pick up Mister 3 and Buggy around there. So it's pretty funny. I won't lie. Impel Down, when it's funny, it's funny. But when it's sad, man, is it sad. But besides that, honestly, like, I don't dislike much else in this arc. I really like everything else about it. It's a short, well, in terms of One Piece length, it's short. It's a short, concise, and impactful arc for what it is. It's so good. Like, man, you would think that a prison escape or breaking into prison and breaking out of prison would be a lot shorter and less exciting than what it was. But nah, Impel Down was so fire. It was so fire. Like, let me talk about. Let me just talk about some of the things, right? In terms of story, I think my favorite part was the ending. Like, literally, when Bon Clay sacrifices himself, or let me rephrase that. From when from when Luffy fights Magellan, all the way until Bon Clay sacrifices himself and they leave the Gates of Justice, I loved it. That was my favorite story part because it was just mostly most of the arc. It was so good. It was awesome, man. Like, I loved it so much. Um, let's see. Music, I can't really say much of the music because it's mostly standard One Piece music, but when it hits, it hits. Like, I know in Magellan's fight in one of the episodes, which will probably be the thumbnail now that I think about it. In one of those episodes where that frame is from the thumbnail, the ending of that episode, the music that played for that, it was awesome. I recognize it. I just don't know. I don't remember the name, but the music for that was so sick. And then you have the characters. The characters were top notch. Like, bringing back old characters that obviously, it's a jail, so it makes sense for them to be here. Especially since they're renowned pirates like Crocodile, who was already a warlord. It makes sense for him to be in level 6. Buggy, Mr. 2, Mr. 3, Mr. 1, like it all makes sense for them to be here in Impel Down. They're renowned prisoners, especially since 3 of them were in Baroque Works, well, 4 of them actually. And one of them, Buggy the Clown, his history. He was a part of Roger's crew. Like, he was a part of Roger's crew. He was friends with Shanks. He met Rayleigh. Like, he had his background is really decorated, bro. Like, it's crazy. So it all makes sense for these characters to be here and for them to be used in this way. Because Bon Clay and Luffy, they Boogie-chan and Bon-chan, like, come on, bro. They're literally best friends at this point because of what happened in Alabasta. So it makes sense that Bon Clay would help Luffy to the extent that he does. Like, it's so sick. And you have Buggy who despises Luffy. You have Mr. 3 who despises him as well because of the downfall that he led against Baroque Works. So it makes sense to be Slive or Snivy? No, that's a Pokemon. Sly and Conniving. There you go. It makes sense that there would be that. And then Crocodile, being Crocodile, he has a part to play in the war, so he understands like no funny business until war. Jinbei is just a solid dude overall. There's no other way to describe him. Like, that man will have your daughter home by 8 o'clock because he is a monster, bro. He is a gentleman monster. And Ivankov introducing Kamaland is fire. Reintroducing the Revolutionary Army, how important of a role they play, but not fully giving us details on them. Super cool. Just these characters, man. And then you have the the Impel Down staff, Hanyaban, I think that's his name. Then you have the weird girl who does that all the time. You have Magellan, you have Shiryu. My favorite character from the Impel Down crew is Shiryu, or excuse me, Magellan, all the way through. Magellan was such a threat from the beginning that we saw the first time we saw him, all the way until the end. Magellan was a menace, bro. Like, I mentioned that before, but I can't reiterate it enough. Magellan, a monster, dog. Actual monster. Like, he's on par with Anil from Skypia in terms of strength. Like, in a way that we can't really beat him. And the only way Luffy beat him was because of the fact that he had his people there, or because of his attribute. And Luffy didn't even beat Magellan. That's the best part. Luffy tied with Magellan the second time and lost the first time. So there's no other way to describe it. Luffy lost. Like, and Luffy isn't shy of losing. I mean, it's happened before and it will happen more, but it's just so fire to see because it's like, yo, he didn't win off of plot cheese. Like, he didn't win at all. That's crazy. You have Shiryu. Shiryu was pretty cool. In terms of like importance to the story, he was pretty important. But for the most part, we just knew him as a shadow. Like, oh, this guy was important because he's crazy. And then these characters, all likable. Like Blackbeard, his crew, likable. Every character in the Revolutionary Army, likable. Baroque Works guys, likable. Luffy's crew, or Luffy and his gang of misfits with Jinbei and all them, likable. Magellan, Shiryu, Hanyaban, somewhat likable. Magellan is real likable. And everybody else that I didn't mention, I don't remember their names, or they were just side characters, so who really cares? But then you have the story beats, like I said again, I already mentioned the best part was level 3 all the way until the ending of the arc. So good. So good. Honestly, MVP of the arc, I will say runner up. Runner up number 3 in placing for MVP is Mr. 3. Mr. 3 was so useful in terms of his devil fruit. People wouldn't have been able to exit Impel Down without him. Mr. 3 was so useful. So useful in Impel Down. His usefulness cannot be understated. Honorable mention, Jinbei. Jinbei was pretty useful as well. Without him, we wouldn't have been able to commandeer a ship, wouldn't have been able to get everybody out of Impel Down. But, Mr. 3 for being longer, or being around longer, and his wax fruit just saving everybody from Magellan for a good portion, helping Luffy fight Magellan. and all that. Like, he was just too useful. Number two is Luffy himself. Luffy was just saucing this arc. He was so good. He was so good. His dedication to saving Ace, but while still holding his beliefs firm and helping Bon Clay and everybody go wanting to help Ivankov and Inazuma. Like, he doesn't lose himself, but it's not like he has full control over himself either. He wants to save his brother, but he knows that he still cares for the people that have helped him along the way. And seeing sacrifices from these people hurts him to his very core. But then you got number one though. Number one by far, bar none, is Bon Clay. Bon Clay is the MVP, the GOAT of Impel Down. I cannot stress that enough. Bon Clay, like, the only person to rival Luffy's dedication to Ace is Bon Clay's dedication to Luffy. Bon Clay, if he didn't sacrifice himself, I would have wanted him to be in the crew. Bon Clay is so fire. He is amazing. I love that character. Like, this guy, all the way back from Alabasta, when he showed us that, like, yo, this dude is real. He helped us escape. This man is solid. If we ever see him again, I gotta thank him. And we see him again. And we see him at Impel Down, and that friendship is still real. Like, and along the way, Bon Clay, even though he wavers a little bit in the beginning of, like, level 3, he still comes back with full force and he helps Luffy. Again, almost killing himself in the process, all the way in level 4, bleeding out in the frozen tundra, excuse me. He was just going limb for limb, bar for bar, helping Luffy try to save his brother. Like, he was risking his life for this man, even though they only met like 4 times, 3 times. And then you have Bon Clay when Luffy's poisoned and he's being healed by Ivankov. He's literally at the door of Luffy's room, telling him, "Hang in there, Mugi-chan, hang in there," screaming there for hours on end until his voice went raw. Like, he he was there supporting him to the very end. And you have Bon Clay being healed and Luffy just being so appreciative of him, and then them escaping, and then his sacrifice himself. I'm telling you, bro, most of the time that I cried in Impel Down was because of Bon Clay. Like, Bon Clay honestly was the main reason why I was crying in Impel Down. Like, when he was helping Luffy in the in the tundra, when he was rooting for Luffy in Ivankov's place in New Kama Land, and when he sacrificed himself at the very end, telling him, Luffy or Mugi-chan, "You can save your brother. I believe in you. You got this, dog. Do it. Do it for your brother." And, like, man, the waterworks just started coming out, man. The waterworks just started coming out like crazy. And the best part about it, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, I knew Bonchan was gonna sacrifice himself. I knew about Ivankov and all that. I knew about everything. Even though, like, it's been a while, I remembered it loosely. I remembered the most important parts. So seeing it again and it's still having a greater, or still having an impact on me, if not an even better impact on me, it just goes to show, like, Bon Clay is one of the craziest, most loyal, and most fire characters in One Piece. Period. People will say that there's more characters like that. Like, obviously, there's more characters out there that you guys haven't seen yet who are like that as well, who are fire to the very core. But Bon Clay deserves to be in the top 20 list of, like, most solid dudes in One Piece. Like, that man is loyal to the soil. Loyalty to soyalty, bro. Like, it's crazy. And that's why Bon Clay, Mr. 2. I forgot his name. It was Benjamin something. Where is he? Um, let me give him the honor of saying his full name. Bon Clay. Yeah. Okay. Where? Oh yeah, Bentham. Bentham Clay. He is the number one character in Impel Down. The most clutch, the most impactful, the most emotional, the most exciting. the MVP, the most valuable player in Impel Down is Bentham Bon Clay, Mr. 2. God rest his soul. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for now. Besides that, the only real thing to talk about is just Nami being in the cloud area on the Sky Island that she landed on, learning more about the clouds and just experiencing things. She's just there, and then you have Frankie, who we find out is actually on Vegapunk's island, which I don't think they've mentioned Vegapunk up until this point, but I think they have because of Water 7 and his story there. But yeah, right now that's the only episode I've seen after Bon Clay's sacrifice and all that. Now everybody's going to Marineford. They're all getting ready. And yeah, I'm excited. Like there's no other way to put it. I'm just utterly excited. But I hope you guys enjoy. I'm so glad to be doing this again. This series, I've always just wanted to finish it so I could talk about the manga stuff while also talking about the crazy anime stuff, bro. Like I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, hopefully you guys can join me on this journey. I know it's been a while. The takeover, the breaks over. You suck as king of these alley streets, Nip Hustle. Even though the original line is Jay-Z, but let me see when the last video was when I did this. It was Amazon Lily. I remember that. But how long ago was it? Okay. The last video I did in this playlist was 7 months ago. So crazy. Over half a year ago. Actually insane. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching as always. Next video I'm gonna do in this playlist is gonna be Marineford. It's gonna be a long one, so grab your popcorn and get ready, cause it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I'll check y'all out. Stay safe. And let me get to the Luffy statue real quick. Yeah. Peace.